to Family Time with Friends, an occasional podcast with your Friends of Crown Heights Educational Centers. My name is Chanel Bryan. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time to create awareness, honor millions of lives affected by breast cancer, and reaffirm our commitment to care and improve survival for all. According to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer every 2 minutes, and 3 out of 4 women who are diagnosed have no family history. Today, I am joined with my colleague and friend, Donicia Johnson, a fellow educational director here at Friends of Crown Heights, who has generously agreed to talk with us about her recent diagnosis and treatment for breast cancer. Hello, Donicia.
Hello, Miss Bryan. How are you?
I'm good. Can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and what life was like before your diagnosis?
Hi. My name is Donicia Johnson. I'm one of the directors of Friends of Crown Heights. What life was like before breast cancer? I was, traveling with my family of 3. My husband and I, we would plan trips. We would go out with the children. Just enjoy life Monday through Friday, busy work week. And on the weekend, we would do family events together.
When and how did you first find out you had breast cancer?
So it all started back in November 2024. I went to do a regular mammogram, and they sent me a letter saying that I needed to do a follow-up exam because they saw a dense tissue. So that started, and I went in and scheduled an appointment, and they gave me an appointment for February 2025. So the day before my appointment, they called me and said that they didn't have any technicians, that they needed to reschedule. So they rescheduled for May 27th, and I went in and did the mammogram, and they said that they would reach out and let me know what the results.
So what was your immediate reaction to your diagnosis?
So before my diagnosis, I did the biopsy, and the biopsy pretty much, looks at the scan of the breast to see exactly what cells were affected. And once I got the results, everything just happened so
fast. So you didn't have any symptoms or anything like that?
I didn't have any symptoms, but what I can recall was my iron level was dropping drastically, and I didn't know what the reasons were. I thought it was just because of just not having enough green leafy vegetables, and I knew that played like a big role in low iron. So that was one of the signs. Now looking back, that was one of the signs that may have kind of contributed to me like pushing to go and get the mammogram done, just to, because I knew I needed a follow up. So I'm like, okay, maybe something else is going on.
So what kind of treatment did you undergo, and how long did it last?
So I was diagnosed on June 4th, and I was told by the doctor that that it was a small cancer, and that it was stage 1, and that I had to do a lumpectomy. A lumpectomy is pretty much removing the lump that's affected. And that was the treatment that I was told that I would receive, a lumpectomy, and after that I would receive chemo possibly, or radiation, and the pill to prevent reoccurrence. But that changed because after getting the diagnosis, I had to do a MRI, which looked further into the dense tissues. And once I did that, it came back showing that the cancer was around my lobular milk ducts. So the type of cancer that I have is called invasive lobular cancer. So it's pretty much around the milk ducts. So it pretty much just the cells around the milk ducts just get inflamed, and a lot of people sometimes think that it's just dense tissue, they don't know what it is. They'll probably just think that it's dense tissues, but it really was more than dense tissue. So I had to do a surgery. I had to do the single mastectomy. The single mastectomy is pretty much removing my left breast and reconstructing it. So I had to do the mastectomy, single mastectomy, to remove all the breast tissue inside. And I opted to do the dorsiflap reconstruction. The dorsiflap reconstruction pretty much is using the back tissue to build the breast. So, if I may add, I had three options of rebuilding my breast or just not having a breast. So one was not having a breast. The second one was to do silicone, and the third was to do the dorsiflap reconstruction. A lot of times people don't know that silicone, you have to replace it every 10 years. So that's something that I didn't want to have to do, go back in and do another surgery for. And I just couldn't see myself just being flat. So I opted to do my body tissue to reconstruct. So that was the option that I did. And my surgery was about 4 hours to change. And after that, I had to wait to get my ONCO score, which the ONCO score is pretty much a score that you wait for. It pretty much tells you what your recurrence rate is.
Okay.
Which, as I tell everyone throughout my story, that with cancer is all about ages and stages. So because I'm only 43, that gave me a better chance, less reoccurrence, and because of the stage of the cancer, and because it was only in my middle ducts. So it was slow growth. So after the surgery, I received my ONCO score and it was 16. And that was below the 25. 25 is like the cutoff for no chemo. So that was good news. So I heard no chemo. And then I had to follow up with my doctor who prescribed a pill that I had to take for 5 to 10 years to prevent any reoccurrence, which my reoccurrence rate is less than 1%.
Okay.
So that is the treatment that I'm currently on.
So, just for you personally or emotionally, what so far was the toughest part of your treatment process?
So the toughest part was just being strong. And I commend my husband for just being my supporter during this process. The pep talks, you can do this. And a lot of times people don't know when you have cancer, the emotional piece is what you have to focus on. Because if you're not strong, your body is going to break down and you're just not going to heal the way you should. So he was always there, like giving me those pep talks. You're going to be fine. You got this. You're strong. God didn't bring you this far. And it was just like it was just daily conversations, the daily talks, and also just seeing my 3 children, just being supportive. My daughter was like really strong. She was like, "Mommy, you got this. You're beautiful. You're going to be okay. It doesn't matter how many boobs you have." So, and my middle child, he would just like shut down behind closed doors. He'll always check on me. "Mom, you good? You need anything?" And my oldest, he was like, "Mom, if you're strong, I'm strong. And you got this. And I'm here for you." So it was just like the daily, motivation, encouragement. Just them being there was the most important part. Because I don't think I could have done it without my husband and my kids.
So how has surviving breast cancer changed your outlook on life?
So so sometimes I'm like, "Oh gosh, it's so overwhelming." And then my husband is like, "You have a new leaf on life. You gotta be happy. You gotta be jolly." So now I told myself that I will live life. So sometimes I'll leave work and I'll be like, "Okay, maybe I should get an ice cream. Maybe I should get an iced coffee." So, and then now I prioritize my work. I try to balance my work home. So I had a date yesterday.
Oh,
So I
nice.
left work And I went home and I had a movie date with my husband. We went out to the movies. So I just try to spend more time with my family and just try to get out and enjoy life more. So, you know, I'm just here. I'm happy to be alive, happy to have life because recently after finding out that I had breast cancer, I found out that my aunt had breast cancer and she didn't share it with me. So I found out after, and she was pretty much she's older than me. She was at stage 2, and just being able to hear her story, um, I felt like I had someone that I can relate to. She's she just finished radiation, and she's doing much better. So I just feel blessed to actually not having to do chemo or radiation and having to still have hair.
Right.
So that's a blessing because my aunt lost some of her hair. So I just count my blessings.
Um, so what do you wish more people understood about breast cancer?
So when I shared it with a few people, like I pretty much encouraged them to go to a mammogram, go get checked. There's different ways of checking in the tub. You raise your hand, you feel for a lump. Sometimes it's dense tissue, so you really wouldn't know until you actually do a mammogram. Some people will say, I'm not old enough to do a mammogram, but there has to be a way to get a mammogram done early because I had a friend that had cancer when she was in her 20s.
Oh wow.
So I would just, what I do now is I just try to educate as much as I can about the whole breast cancer because everything happens so fast. In the span of 4 months, I went through diagnosis, doctor's appointments. I've never been to the doctor this much, and just treatments. You know, just biopsies, MRI, mammogram, ultrasounds. I mean, needles, blood work. It was a journey.
Do you have any advice for someone who might be going through a similar journey?
Any advice is um, just to just to stay mentally strong. Because if you're not mentally strong, it's hard because you're constantly crying and you're constantly uncertain about what tomorrow may hold because everyone's at a different stage and everyone's at a different age. No one person has the same journey. So I may have had an easy journey. It may be looked at as an easy journey, but it was really hard. The healing process was hard. So I would just say just to be strong, to be as strong as possible. Don't be afraid to talk to people because sometimes you need someone to talk to. A lot of times people don't share it because, when it first happened to me, I was like, I don't want people to sorry for me. I'm not going to tell anyone. And then, it took me a while, even telling my staff. It took me a while to tell my staff. And I found myself telling them one by one because I knew that they would react differently. I had staff that hugged me tight, staff that cried in my arms. So I feel like everyone everyone needs someone to talk to and to keep them like, mentally strong.
If you could leave the audience with one message or one takeaway from your experience, what would it be?
Stay healthy. Stay healthy. Get health checks. Go in. Do your mammogram. Go to the doctor. Ask for a blood test. A lot of times, I know with the medicals, they say every 2 years. Some people go every year. Some people go every 6 months. I would say just pay attention to your body because now looking back, I'm thinking of all the signs that I that could have possibly been signs, like my iron level, and even like my skin was changing whenever like I bruised. My skin would get dark, and I would be like, "What's going on? Why is my skin getting dark?" So just now looking back, I'm like, "Oh, maybe this was a sign. Maybe that was a sign." So I would just say, just pay attention to your body. Go to the doctor, get checked, do regular checks in the shower if you have to, and one of the signs that I read about was that when you have breast cancer, your nipple flakes
Mm.
and like it gets like little things around like blisters and stuff around it and flaking. So those are some signs that my doctor mentioned when she asked me about, did you see anything? Did you notice your skin getting darker? Did you notice anything? And one of the main things that I mentioned was my iron just being low. Because I've never experienced my iron that low. So I would just say pay attention and take care of yourself. If you're not healthy, you can't help yourself.
So thank you. Thank you for sharing with us today. Your journey reminds us that breast cancer isn't just a medical battle. It's a story of courage, hope, and community. And your strength and honesty not only inspires those fighting, but it reminds us of the importance of early detection, support, and awareness. So, to everyone watching, remember regular screenings saves lives, and compassion can make all the difference. So let's continue to stand together, raise awareness, honor survivors and the fighters, and those that we've lost. So Zanicia, thank you again for your bravery and for your giving to others, your strength, and to keep going. I am Chanel Bryan, and thank you for spending time with us at Family Time with Friends.
Thank you for having us.